You know exactly what you want, and yet something keeps pulling you back every single time you try to move toward it. What if the thing stopping you isn't weakness, fear, or bad luck, but your own brain literally fighting against you? In this video, I'll share 6 neuroscience-backed reasons why your brain resists the life you truly want, and exactly how to override each one starting today. I used to believe the problem was motivation. I read every book, made every plan, set every goal, and still found myself circling back to the same place. Then I discovered something that changed everything. Your brain isn't broken. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do. And that design is working against your dreams. The problem is, most people try to push harder without understanding the system they're pushing against. That's why willpower always runs out. By the end of this video, you'll understand your brain's resistance at a biological level, and you'll have a clear, proven strategy to work with your brain instead of against it. Let's dive in. Now, here's where it gets interesting and slightly uncomfortable. Because the first reason your brain resists your best life has nothing to do with what you want. It has everything to do with what you are. Your brain is not a goal-achieving machine. It is a survival machine. Its number one job, above happiness, above success, above everything, is to keep you alive. And to a survival brain, anything unfamiliar looks like a potential threat. Your dream job, your new relationship, your bold creative project. To your brain's ancient threat detection system, these aren't opportunities. They're unknowns. And unknowns equal danger. Neuroscientist Dr. Joseph Ledoux at NYU found that the amygdala, your brain's threat center, processes new situations before the rational prefrontal cortex even gets involved. This means your emotional, fear-based response to big goals fires before your logical mind can evaluate whether those goals are actually safe or not. Your brain has already decided no before your conscious mind has a chance to say yes. The solution isn't to silence the alarm. You can't. Instead, familiarize the dream. First, spend 5 minutes daily just visualizing the goal in detail. Not planning it, just picturing it. Repetition reduces the amygdala's threat response over time. Second, take micro-actions toward the goal every day. Actions so small they don't trigger the alarm. Third, remind yourself out loud. This feels dangerous because it's new, not because it actually is. That verbal reframe engages the prefrontal cortex and weakens the fear signal. Now, the survival paradox is just the beginning, because there's a second system working alongside it. And this one is even more subtle. This next one is crucial, because once you see it, you'll recognize it operating in almost every decision you make. Your brain is a prediction machine. Its deepest function isn't to experience reality, it's to predict reality. And predictions are built from patterns. Every familiar experience, even a bad or painful one, is more comfortable to your brain than an unfamiliar experience that might be great. This is why you stay in jobs you hate, relationships that don't serve you, and routines that keep you small. The known feels safer than the unknown, even when the known is miserable. Research from the University of London's Computational Neuroscience Lab found that the brain actually generates physical discomfort, registered identically to mild pain, when forced to operate without reliable predictions. Dr. Carl Friston calls this the free energy principle. Your brain will do almost anything to reduce uncertainty, including choosing a reliably bad outcome over an unpredictably good one. You don't stay stuck because you're weak. You stay stuck because your brain physically prefers it. Build familiarity with the unfamiliar. First, expose yourself to small doses of unpredictability. Daily, take a different route, try a new food, start a new conversation. This trains your prediction machine to stop treating novelty as pain. Second, create transition rituals between old habits and new ones. Your brain accepts change more easily when new behaviors are sandwiched between familiar ones. Third, reframe uncertainty as data collection rather than danger. I'm not lost. I'm learning the route. But wait, There's a third layer beneath all of this, and this one lives in something far more personal. Most people don't know this, but the most powerful force resisting your dream life isn't fear. It's identity. Every one of us carries an internal self-image, a deeply held picture of who we are. And here's the problem. That self-image was built largely from your past, not your potential. If your self-image says, "I'm not the kind of person who succeeds at things like this," your brain will systematically reject any evidence that contradicts that story. Every opportunity gets filtered through the lens of who you believe you are. And if the dream doesn't match the self-image, the dream loses. Psychologist Dr. Tasha Urich's research on self-awareness found that only 10 to 15% of people are genuinely self-aware of the gap between who they are now and who they need to become. Meanwhile, neuroscience shows that the brain's default mode network, the system responsible for self-referential thinking, actively reinforces existing self-concepts through a process called predictive self-modeling. Your brain literally builds a story about who you are and then protects that story from change. You don't change identity through willpower. You change it through new evidence. First, identify one belief you hold about yourself that contradicts your dream. Write it down. Second, ask, where did I first decide this was true? Most identity beliefs were formed before age 15. Third, start collecting counter-evidence daily. Every time you do something that contradicts the limiting belief, note it. Your brain updates its self-model based on accumulated evidence. Give it new data every single day. There's a scientific reason this next point catches almost everyone off guard. And it's one of the most fascinating things I've ever learned about the brain. You've already watched this far, so let me share something that will reframe every moment of procrastination you've ever experienced. Your brain consumes roughly 20% of your body's total energy, while representing only 2% of your body weight. It is extraordinarily expensive to run, and because of this, your brain has developed a powerful energy conservation system. Novel thinking, creative problem-solving, and ambitious goal pursuit are among the most energy-intensive cognitive activities that exist. So when you try to build the life you want, your brain doesn't just resist emotionally. It resists metabologically. Ambition is expensive, and your brain is cheap by design. Research published in Current Biology by neuroscientist Dr. Tali Sharot found that when effort is high and reward is distant, the brain's motivational circuitry, centered in the basal ganglia, actively reduces engagement as a conservation strategy. This is why the most important work feels hardest to start. It's not laziness. It's your brain protecting resources by discounting future rewards in favor of present ease. Reduce the energy cost of ambition. First, do your most important goal-directed work in the first 2 hours after waking, when metabolic and cognitive resources are at their highest. Second, break every big goal into the smallest possible next action. Your brain will fund a small step far more willingly than a large one. Third, pair goal-related work with a mild reward immediately after, not before. This trains your basal ganglia to associate ambition with reward instead of drain. Now, let's talk about something even more powerful, one of the most misunderstood forces in all of human psychology. This next one might be the most uncomfortable truth in this entire video, and I want you to sit with it honestly. Your brain is a social organ. It evolved inside tribes, and it still operates as though your survival depends on your tribe's acceptance. This means your brain constantly monitors how your behavior compares to the people around you, and it applies silent pressure to stay within the group's acceptable range. When you start growing, changing, earning more, thinking differently, your brain senses the social drift, and it applies the brakes. Not because growth is wrong, but because standing out from your tribe once meant being left behind, to die. Sociologist Dr. Nicholas Christakis at Yale, co-author of Connected, documented through large-scale network analysis that behaviors, habits, and even income levels spread through social networks like viruses. You are statistically likely to earn within 10% of the average income of your 5 closest friends, make health decisions that mirror theirs, and hold beliefs that Albert, Ignan, with theirs, not because of direct pressure, but because your brain automatically recalibrates to your social environment. Your ceiling is socially set. You don't need to abandon your people. You need to add to your environment. First, identify one person living closer to your desired life and find a way to spend more time with or learning from them, even digitally. Second, audit your daily inputs, podcasts, content, conversations, and gradually shift them toward the level you want to reach. Third, never announce your goals to people who haven't demonstrated they can hold that vision with you. Protect your ambition from environments that shrink it. And finally, the deepest, most biological reason of all, and the one that requires the simplest fix. Here's the hardest truth, and once you hear it, you'll understand why every strategy you've ever tried eventually stalled. Your brain builds its expectations of the future almost entirely from the patterns of your past. This is called recency bias in cognitive psychology. And it means that whatever your recent experience has been, your brain treats it as the most reliable prediction of what comes next. If you've tried and failed at something 3 times, your brain doesn't just remember the failures. It extrapolates them into your future. It quietly builds a ceiling called, "This is what happens when I try," and it lowers your aspirations accordingly, automatically, without your permission. Psychologist Dr. Daniel Kahneman's research on cognitive heuristics, detailed in Thinking Fast and Slow, showed that recency bias is one of the most powerful and automatic shortcuts the brain uses. It requires zero effort to apply the past to the future. It requires significant conscious effort to override it. And because your brain defaults to the low-energy path, the past keeps writing the story of your future without you ever choosing it. Break the recency trap deliberately. First, create what psychologists call a success inventory, a written list of every challenge you have overcome, every time you succeeded against the odds, every proof that you are more capable than your recent past suggests. Read it every morning for 30 days. Second, when fear of failure appears, ask a different question. Instead of "what if I fail again?" ask, "what would I try if my past didn't exist?" That question bypasses the recency filter entirely. Third, act before reviewing. Don't assess your chances. Don't consult your history. Just take the first step and let the new evidence begin to rewrite the pattern. Let's quickly review what we covered today. Number 1, the survival paradox. Familiarize the dream daily. Number 2, the prediction machine. Build familiarity with the unfamiliarity. With the identity lock, give your brain new evidence. Number 4, the energy equation. Work on dreams first. Protect your fuel. Number 5, social thermostat. Add aspirational inputs to your environment. Number 6, the recency trap. Build your success inventory and break the filter. Remember, your brain isn't your enemy. It's the most powerful tool you own. The problem was never you. The problem was working against a system you didn't understand. You now understand it. Don't wait until another year passes, wondering why nothing changed. Start today with just one thing. Build your success inventory. Take one micro action, or simply spend 5 minutes visualizing the life you want without judgment. I promise you, 60 days from now, you'll feel the resistance getting weaker, and you'll keep going anyway. If this video gave you clarity, smash that like button. It helps more people find this content when they need it most. Subscribe for more neuroscience-backed tools for building a life that actually matches what you're capable of. And drop a comment below telling me, which of these 6 brain patterns do you recognize most in your own life? I read every single one, and if you want to go deeper on rewiring your mindset from the ground up, check out this video right here. It's the perfect next step. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.